no sé para qué te bajas, Antonio, si te tienes que subir ahora. Vale, pues ha sido un poco improvisado, pero la verdad es que nos lo hemos pasado muy bien, hemos hablado de unas cosas bastante interesantes. Ahora vamos a tener a Patrice Désilets. Va a ser una entrevista en vivo con Antonio Santos, y nos haciendo preguntas. Luego creo que también tendremos oportunidad de que le preguntéis vosotros cualquier cosa que se le ocurra. Para quien no lo conozca, Patrice Désilets es el director de Príncipe de Persia, las Arenas del Tiempo, de los primeros Assassin's Creed. Ahora está trabajando en su nuevo juego con compañías Digital Games, que están haciendo un juego de Ancestors, sobre la prehistoria, que anunciaron cosas hace poco, que salieron en imágenes hace poco, y lo vamos a tener aquí, hoy, durante un ratito. Sí. Así que nada, Antonio, voy subiendo y voy a por Patrice.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hello.
Hey.
Buenos días. So something like that, huh?
That was all your Spanish, right?
Sí. So no, because I knew C also.
I'm not sure. Well, we met like 2 or 3 years ago in Bilbao in the Fun and Serious Game Festival.
Yes, we did.
So what have you been up to?
Continuing working on a game with my team at Panache Digital Games in Montreal. Been growing the team from 6 the first year at my place to 12 in an office to 32 now.
And how's the game going? Is there something you
I don't
can
know.
share with us?
I'm not at work, so I don't know. But what I know is that last Friday I was in Croatia and my team delivered a milestone build, and I wasn't there. So I guess my team is working well without me, maybe better. It means that I have a business now that doesn't need me, which is the best.
Well, we are within a university, so let's talk about education for games.
Okay.
When you started working in this industry, there weren't any educational programs for video games like this. Maybe in the US or Canada or something like that, but not here in Europe.
No, not in Canada.
Not even there.
No. I don't know in the US, but where I come from, there was nothing. And now there is also a lot of design, like art, programming schools in Quebec at least.
What do you think of these programs? Because the risk is always being trained in being a jack of all trades instead of being a specialist in something. And games development is a quite fairly specialized job.
Well, it depends. Sorry, I don't want to.
No, please.
It depends on the size of your team. If you have big teams, yes, you can be a sniper and be really good at only one thing. Like, I'm good at making shaders. I'll make the best shaders of all time, forever. But when you're in a smaller team, and 30 is a small team, by the way, it's not a big, huge team, well, you need more to be like a, what's the word in English? You know, when you take a gun and you cut so more like a shotgun type instead of a sniper, where you need to be good at multiple things. So being a jack of all trade in smaller teams is good, even better than being a sniper, because once the shaders are done, you're useless.
But
and it's not like the game's finished.
At the same time, isn't there a risk of creating a gap between indie development and AAA?
Oh, maybe. So is that the real issue? I don't know. And there will be gaps between the two. It's like you cannot do the same thing, roughly. When you're a smaller team and indie, you need to think about your scope a lot more. The cavalry is not coming to help you out. You cannot put more people into what you're making, so there will always be some differences between the two. And yeah, so I don't see it as an issue per se. Like for sure, with 30 people, you cannot make Assassin's Creed the way they're doing it with 800s. It's just like, even if, like, let's be realistic, it won't be the case for the next game I'm making.
You've been in both sides of the trench. Is there something you miss from AAA games? Apart from having a huge team and lots of money?
Yeah, money is okay now. No, but I mean, really, for Panache, it's been good because I got a publisher, Private Division, which is a new indie label from Take-Two. So on the money side, we're good. What I miss is, like I said, like when you're in a big corporation, a big company, they have a lot of resources. So if things go bad, you can always ask for help. And then suddenly there's like 10 more people comes in. They're formed, you know, they're trained, and they will just join the team, and they know the company culture. You don't have to teach them anything, and they will help you out finishing a project. In the case of a smaller team, nobody's coming to help you out, so it's you alone doing it with, you know, I mean the team. You can do a game by yourself also, but I don't recommend it. No, but the guy who did Stardew Valley, he's done it by himself, but he had no life for 5 years.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, it's true. If you read his stories, like that's all he did for 5 years. And so I don't recommend that, because life is life, man. I mean, it's the thing that we've got, and then it's over. So have a life. No, but plus also this life that you will have outside of your work, you will be able to put it in the game you're making. So if you're only into a game and that's it, you'll have nothing to say down the road.
Actually, not only about life, your games have been always grounded in history and art a lot. Do you think that for a games developer it's always important to have a foot on the street, and also knowing more about, I mean, reading more, watching more movies, being more interested not only in games but in culture, in a wider sense?
It depends on what you do, but yes, you need to have a really good, I don't know if you say that in English, but general culture, to know a lot of different things. But you have to know games also. Like, I don't like developers who are not into gaming and they don't play. You need to play a little bit. It's part of your job. It's like, I'm doing movies, but I never watch a movie. So, what? I like writing books. You need to game, and you need to be a gamer a little bit. And being a really hardcore gamer doesn't. It's not bad, but you need something else. At least I feel like if you're a designer, right? Because you'll be talking to different crafts. And so if you have no clue about art, you know, art history, if you have no clue about narrative, how can you talk with art people or script writers? If you have no clue on the tech side, you're screwed. So you need to know a lot, to have a general knowledge of different fields, and be curious. You have to be curious. You have to. And me, I'm stuck with the historical thing, though. Huh? So you know, it's my signature. I'm stuck with it. So eventually, I'll do a game in the future with spaceship.
So you can invent your own history.
Yeah. No, because yes, I remember when I had to start my company, which I didn't want to, but a lot of stuff happened, and I was on the street, and so I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll have to start a company now. So I wrote a bunch of game ideas, and my first game idea was to make this really weird game about nothing, roughly, which was just about making tools and assets that I could then reuse into making a real game. And people said, well, yeah, it's great, I know why you're doing it, but where's Assassin's Creed? So I'm not giving you money if you're not making Assassin's Creed. So at first I won't be making Assassin's Creed. You know, I cannot make another Assassin's Creed. It doesn't belong to me. But so they wanted an historical game. And I'm like, oh, damn. Okay, so I'm stuck with it. I have to. And so, yeah, but I still need tools. I still need to do assets. And so what would be the historical period I would make? And this is where I thought of prehistoric time period. I said, oh, it won't be so easy because there will be no architecture. There will be no, like, weapons. There will be no crowds to build and whatnot. But then we had to build organic stuff. And organic is not that easy to make either. So, but we're doing fine. It's, my monkey game is going well.
You say that...
We're all monkeys, huh? So, you know, don't ever forget that.
Grandchildren of monkeys.
Yeah, grand.
And some of us are still monkeys.
Some of us.
Yeah. You mentioned that a games developer has to play games. What are you playing right now? I mean, not right now. You're just...
Oh, yeah, right now. Not right. What do I play right now? What was the last thing I played when I left? I have a hard time playing the action adventure game because I work when I do. So I play a lot of FIFA and NHL. So FIFA was one of the last game I played. Yeah, sports games are underrated. We take them for granted. Oh, there'll be a FIFA next year for sure. And oh, everybody's playing FIFA. FIFA is not a good game. FIFA is fucking amazing. and now they even put action-adventure game inside FIFA. You play Alex Hunter, and you suddenly have to make choices in a conversation. So what? Where's the ball? Where's the ball? I want to play the ball. No, you have to do interviews.
I guess you played NBA 2K. That's like an RPG.
I didn't.
The Witcher meets basketball.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, exactly. But no, but in FIFA, the Alex Hunter is also the Witcher. And the Witcher is the other game.
There's a rift here. I'm NBA 2K, he's FIFA. Yeah. We can't be friends anymore.
Well, but I'm also in HL. Silence. So only the Canadian people who play in HL. Yeah. But it is as good, by the way. Without the action-adventure part, because they don't have enough money to make it. But the Witcher 3 is the one I'm also playing because my PS4 broke on me, so I had to buy a new one. So I bought the PS4 Pro, and I had changed my TV, whatever, personal things, but it's life. And I changed my TV also. I said, oh, I'm making those beautiful games in 4K. I don't have a 4K TV, so okay, I'll change it. So now I got a beautiful 4K, and then I said, but I will want to test my setting. So I'll download Witcher 3 again, and I'll restart. And it's been 200 hours. It's not perfect, but damn, it's still good to be in this universe. So, no, but really, it's a good game. They nail something down, and they say they won't make a Witcher 4.
But they
I
will.
don't believe them.
We
will so make
we all
a Witcher
know they
4.
will.
Oh yeah.
At some point they will.
Yeah.
Let's change the subject.
I'll play Dad of War when I'm back home.
Dad of War, yeah.
Yeah.
You should most definitely. You should.
Yeah, it's already bought. It's just waiting for me in Montreal.
Yeah, I have a 2-year-old baby daughter, and she asked, "What are you doing, Daddy?" Going back to games development, we have been, some of these, the organizers of this thing had been discussing different things here a bit before, and they have discussed the idea of should you, when you're an indie developer, do the game you want to do, or should you research the market and try to follow a trend or something like that? What do you think?
What do I think about that?
Yeah.
Don't follow trends. I'm sorry if your teacher told you so. I'm sorry for the teacher, but don't follow trend. Because trends, they're there and they're gone. And it'll take so much time to make your game anyway, so...
You'll be late anyway to the trend.
Probably, so don't do a Battle Royale game now. Don't do it. Don't do it, it's too late. Like if you're... First, you may be able to ship it in a year. Let's put it that way. So the people are already making a Battle Royale game. They'll have another year in them, so the Battle Royale game will be better than yours. And the people who are playing the Battle Royale games, so PUBG and Fortnite, they like for Fortnite and PUBG. And why would they switch? Your game must be freakingly amazing. And if you're in this fantasy for a while. So no, I'm making a game with an ape. So I'm telling you, be special, be unique, you know, find your thing. And then do you find a niche? Find a white space. That's better than what's really popular these days. Like, again, nobody has done a game about human evolution on this planet. And starting 10 million years ago, and let's go down the trees and standing up. Nobody has done that, so I find like if you want to have that experience, Tours will be the only place for you. Yeah, totally.
There are another debate I would like to go into with you, and that's the old debate between narratologists and what's the word in English? And well, those who think that games should tell stories, and those who think that games should be focused mostly on game mechanics, and that stories and narrative are like a side effect. Mm-hmm. I have an educated guess on which side do you fall, but what do you say to that question?
Games are not about stories. It's the player's stories at the end that matters the most, not what you write. Because games are not about emotion. Games are about sensations that will give some emotion if put in a context. It sounds really intelligent what I just said, but it's real. Like, it's about speed, right? It's not an emotion. It's about heights, vertigo. It's about asking some questions and not giving the answers. And players, anyway, since it's not a monologue, making games. Like, when you write a story, you're having a monologue with yourself, and people will read it, and they will never change the story you wrote, per se. And a game is a dialogue with somebody else. You're proposing stuff, and players will finish. I say gamers are co-creators of the final experience. And so it's not about stories. It's really about proposing portion of a story, and at the end, the player will fill up the gap. I said it before, but you know, Altair was that really badass motherfucker, right? On paper. But you took the control of Altair, and in some moments of playing with that badass character, you look really, really, really dumb. Because you made him turn on itself while Al-Mualim was asking, like, and was talking. You did it, huh? So, and then suddenly, the thing that was the narrative was out the door. It was like, no, I'm not Altair for a while. And Tom Cruise is never, in his movie, turns on himself like that. Tom Cruise or another whoever actors who in general do badass characters. So that's why I like, and then it's funny because I know at the end narrative is important. Don't get me wrong. Like, the main reason people played Assassin's Creed was because of the story. They wanted to know what would happen next.
And the cathedrals.
And the cathedrals, but mostly no. But I remember we did a survey. Say, what would you play the second game, or would you play the third one? And the answer was yes, and then why? And in 85% was like because of the story. But I believe that is because we gave the players really good mechanics, so they had fun between the narrative beats. And then when the narrative would come in, it made sense, and it was not two different things together. So you need to think about, you need to justify your story through mechanics, and mechanics will also be justified by the story. So the Sands of Time was a feature that was your fuel that you collected. Wine, that was also a feature. Sands of Time out in the palace was justified by an earthquake, because I asked myself who would go to their bed in that palace and the only way to get to your room was to run on a wall. What type of apps was a puzzle for you to, because you needed to activate the defense of the palace, and then suddenly there were spikes everywhere, because again, defying it, then it makes sense in the narrative. But it's not because I wanted to tell the story of a broken palace.
You have said that games are about sensations, not about feelings.
Emotion.
Emotions.
Feelings
sorry.
and sensation are
right.
really close.
That, in my opinion, that's because game mechanics are mostly verbs. I mean, jump, shoot. And that's more, Warren Spector told me once, discussing exactly this, that the games are better at expressing movement than at expressing feelings, just because of that, because game mechanics are a verb, a playable verb.
Yes, he's right, but at the same time, yeah, that's what a game is. It's about doing things. I'm sorry, you do, like you play with some rules, well, you do it. In any games, board games, you have to do something. You have to make a decision. And it's not about empathy and I'm like, don't do anything, right? 2 weeks ago, I was in France talking with movie makers. And I say, for you, a really good story is a guy wakes up or a girl wakes up in the morning, he preps, but you cut 3 times to show, that it goes into to the shower, and now he's, cleaning the hair, and then gets out of his apartment, and then boom, he's at the job, and you put the emotion on the 2 scenes there. Us, it's the going to the job part that we do. It's it's doing things, and waking up is not really interesting. I'm sorry, and just having a shot of eyes and okay, but can I play with the eyelid? Can I do something? You want to do something. Otherwise, you read a book, you go watch a movie. So technically, through technology, yes. At first, it was just jump and destroying. I used to say that we destroy a lot of stuff in games because it's 1 and zeros, roughly. So 1 is something and 0 is gone. So it's a much easier thing to do with tech destroying than create, because it is what it is. But for me, it's funny. It's perfect like that. I find it interesting to be doing things, and so you have to think about different subject matters. That's why we create a lot of new IPs, because we attack subject matters from a different angle, right? It's not Ancestors was not about I want to create this journey of that ape that lived through something special that day, and they said no. It's just like I want to play in a tree. I want to go around. I want to swing, and there's a snake, and I want to do something with the snake. It's like, and then suddenly I'm making big.
What do you think then of games such as Gone Home, There's There, What Remains of Edith Finch, which are based more on the emotions side of things, and you don't have that many things to do?
Yeah, you walk. It's okay.
Okay.
No. I mean, then that means that you put weights on the type of action. It's yes, you walk around and you open stuff and you read. So you do stuff, but we used to destroy. So we say, there's no destruction in this game. So what? That's it. You still do stuff. You cannot. For sure, if you would do a real movie about going home or whatever, you'll say, okay, it's a bit
dull.
Yeah, because you would cut everything in the middle, so you would just have whoop, and okay, another one whoop, because but it's okay. It's pure exploration. I've done the same thing in Witcher. You walk and you open you want to. So I guess I don't want to go into that controversy. It's like, it's in 3D, there is interactivity, there was a team, they put their effort, they believed in it, they ship it, right? And they sold it. Fuck it. It's a game. It's a game.
I have no idea about the timing. Where's Edu?
Are we good on timing?
Okay, you give me a word. We were also discussing, before you arrived, about what does it take for a country to create a games industry. Here in Spain, we have like a about to be born games industry, but we don't have an industry as such. So what do you think that a country needs to do to improve its industry, apart from creating good games?
The government needs to help.
How?
Money.
Give us some ideas.
Money.
No, yeah, but I mean,
they need money. We need money.
Tax
you
cuts,
need to pay your people,
direct helps.
So.
What do you
Direct
think?
helps. This is how there was no industry 20 years ago in Montreal, and now it's one of the biggest one on this planet, and we're only 8 million people in Quebec. You have to know Canada. Well, okay. I'm talking to a crowd who knows about division, I would say, and Canada is divided in 10 different provinces and 2 territories, or maybe 3 now. And so every province has their own thing for business and laws and blah, blah, blah. And in Quebec, 20 years ago, the government decided to give a tax credit to a little game company back then called Ubisoft. It was little. I don't know, they were 25th in the world, and even like, I don't know the numbers, like, I don't want to get sued. But, again. Why did I say that? Anyway.
You're walking into this yourself.
Yeah, I know. Love you all. Everybody should be, and I say, okay. So now it's part of the economy of making games in Quebec, this tax credit. Then the Media Fund of Canada, which is a fund funded by the cable companies, they put money to for productions, movies and TVs, and eventually say, well, we'll do the same thing for games. So now when you're an indie developer, you can ask for a grant to the Canadian Media Fund, and you can receive up to $1 million. That's how Outlast, by my friends at Red Barrel, started. They had the $1 million to make a game. And so, and then there's R&D credit that you can receive, so research and development. And so government helped a lot to create that community and business in Quebec, and now the Ontario government is trying to do the same, and they have some credits over there also, I guess Nova Scotia. So it's the government needs to help. I'm sorry, it's like I wish it was big corporation. It doesn't work really like that in capitalism. The trickle-down effect just doesn't work. It's all bullshit. If you know, this is not how it works. And so, but and then what happened? And then we also have now, like, you can have a master in game design. You can there's schools. There's a lot of schools, because then the companies over there say, I need people, and also then it creates this snowball effect. And now we have, and now where I come from, making games is really, really cool. For the community, like when you say, oh, I'm making games, oh, yes. Like, we know Assassin's Creed was created in Montreal. Splinter Cell was created in Montreal, right? And so, and other games, and then it attracted Warner to Montreal. And so I would say, like, and I've been traveling the world, and I don't understand why it's only us. I was in Croatia telling Croatian people, like, we're only 4 million, so we're
so
8.
What? Yeah.
It's not that many more, and the Finnish government is helping the industry over there. There's only 4, and like Spain, come on, it's so big. I don't understand. And you have art, you have artists. I'm sure you have pretty good engineers, right? You have designers. So you have it all. You have it all. You're a rich country. You should have a really big community. And what is, like, to attract it, and the most important thing now is to help the little ones that want to start, because this is where the real asset lies. It's in the creation of new IPs, so intellectual property, And this is where the actual value of any business lies. And so in Montreal at first was all the big companies, and also all the IPs were back into their original countries. But now there are 125 little studios. Most of us learn our craft through the big companies, and now we're building IPs. So the Outlast IP now belongs to a Canadian/Quebec company. And Ancestor still belongs to me, so, and I will never sell it because Panache is this part of our DNA. We want to be an IP powerhouse because we want to sell T-shirts with Ancestors on it or caps. You can buy those hats on our stores. By the way, you go on panachedigitalgames.com and you can buy hats.
Ad. Like it.
Yeah.
Flashing.
Oh man, I'm a game designer, right, and creative director, but now I'm a businessman. So buy my hats, man. It's only 35 Canadian dollars, which is like 12 euros or something. So
why didn't you bring some and we could put a pop-up store out there?
It's called the web, man. We're shipping for free.
That landscape you're describing.
I don't remember if we're shipping for free. We do now.
Special offer for the attendants. That landscape you're describing, at the same time, there's all these talks about indie apocalypse, 30 games a day on Steam, that's a bubble, we're going to explode and all die.
Yeah. The consoles were dead. The PC scene was dead. It's always dead. But then, no, because there's more and more gamers and we want to play games. We like it. It's fun. No, it will not. Then it's tough to be on the front page. I get it, right? So if you can have a publisher for other reasons than distribution, it's good. So you do not only compete against other games, by the way. You're competing for the 4 hours left in everybody's day life. So you're competing against Netflix also, by the way. And you're competing against a football game at night that is really important. You're competing against books, man, not too much these days, but still. It's true. We're all competing for that 4 hours. So create something unique, create something original.
4 hours a day, you don't have kids, right?
Yeah. I do. I have two young girls.
And you have 4 free hours a day.
Yeah, but that means that I don't sleep that much.
Okay. Now that makes sense. Okay.
Exactly. So,
the organizer,
roughly, let's say, 4 hours. Come on.
He's standing. That might mean that we have to cut and do a quick Q&A. Sure. Let's open the floor.
Open up the floor.
I'll translate. Yeah. I'll translate for you.
I may understand the Spanish though, perché parlo italiano et je parle français, and then so the Spanish is that third one that, yeah.
Tu ne parles français, tu parles québécois.
Oh no, don't start with that shit. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
When you went from a AAA company to be on yourself and become indie, did you research in the indie industry, like other companies or other games, or you didn't?
Did I, just to make sure I understand, did what? Going
Research,
from a big to a small one?
Like investigate in what other indie companies do, or how is the indie playing?
No. I may look young because of my hats, but I'm turning 44 in a month, and so I've got 20 years experience in this industry, and so I just said, okay, I want to do my thing. And so I had the experience of how it worked in a big corporation. I said, okay, how can it be better and with a small team? What is the thing I don't like and what I would remove? And so I removed the Mondays. Yeah. So at Panache, you cannot call a meeting on a Monday. It's impossible because I refuse to have a meeting on Mondays, because on Monday, you're coming back from your weekend. it's been a while since you did the check-in. You don't quite sure what you were working on Friday, blah, blah, blah. So, and also I said to my team, on Mondays, go to the doctor, go to the bank. It's okay, you won't miss any meetings. All right, so that's something a big corporation will never do, because I wanted something special. Okay, on Fridays, I do not make any decision. I'll change my mind on the weekend, and I'll come back on Monday and say, you know what I told you on Friday, I changed my mind, and then you'll go, damn it, Pat, I'll change his mind again. So I do not make any decision on Friday. On Friday afternoon, though, at 3:30, at 3-ish 30, we stop. That's it. That's the end of the week. Let's go to the playing room. Let's have a beer together, and let's play the latest what we do together. You know, every team should do it, and then, but why alcohol on the workforce, blah, 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 blah. Tough. We're only 30. Bring your kids to the job. I don't care. Well, unless they go around and break stuff, but in general, I don't care. And bring your dogs. So all the rule set of big corporation, I said, no, I don't need that. And then I went really, really strict with the method. It's something I wanted to do at UB, but it was tougher because I said, okay, it's 6-week sprints. Some people say it's too long. I don't care. Me, it's 6 weeks. The first week we design, we plan, we sit together. What are we going to do in this 6 weeks? Then we craft for 4 weeks, and then we debug the last week. All right. Tuesday at 11, stand-up meeting. Everybody stands up. This is what I'm working on. I have a problem with this. Okay, can we help each other? Thursday, 3. Another stand-up meeting. How was your week? Blah, blah, blah. Friday, play together at 3. And this never changed. This is like I'm being really strict about it, the method. So people don't have to think where they are, or is it going to be this week? And no, this is always the same. But then in how we do it, then it's chaos. I don't care. It's the result that counts. And so, and this is not because it's not me studying other indie developers and whatnot. It's just that, okay, now I'll be in charge. Let's put something cool and be a bit different, but professionals. So, yeah. Did I answer your question? Because I went like, ooh, I talked a lot.
Okay, so here.
Oh, all right.
You left Ubisoft after making Assassin's Creed Brotherhood?
In the middle of it, yes.
Oh, in the middle. So I read on the internet that you left because you didn't want to make one Assassin's Creed per year. I wanted to know if this is true or what were the reasons behind your departure from Ubisoft, if we can know.
So first, you said the word, I read that on the internet. You know you're not supposed to believe what you read on the internet.
I know.
So that's the answer. No, I left because I was tired, because I turned 30-something and I was tired, and I said, okay, I want to be elsewhere to see if I'm there. And I need a break, and I took a year off, traveled a little bit with the family. I just had Penelope. Penelope is my youngest one. Yeah, it's like, you like that name, huh? Si. It's Penelope Désilets. And so, and she was 3 days old, and I was doing, and so after 6 months, I felt like, hey, I don't know my youngest one. I kind of like, I know Ezio's life by heart, but Penelope, I don't know. And I said, okay, enough. And then a bunch of stuff. But it was not like because they did this, because, no, it's me being human and just say, hey, 13 years in a row going at the same office every single day. That's it. And me, I never thought I would be making video games. And I never thought I'd be working in an office for every day. I thought I would be I would be becoming a movie, director and whatnot. Then you go on sets, and it's always different. You're shooting in, in the desert or in the Amazonia, whatever, and it's always. And then I said, oh, it's been 13 years. I'm working in an office. So you know, you'll be working in an office. You'll be going to work, sitting down on a chair, or looking at a computer screen. You know, it's not sexy, really. No. And then it's what's happening on your screen. That's the dream thing part. That's sexy. Like in my office, sometimes, like we close all the shutters because of the light, right? And I had this marketing dude with us. He left since then, but he doesn't know what he wanted in life, so he left. He was always putting the shutter up to see the light. I said, no. We're a game company. Lights is like no good. And if you want light, do a beautiful image on your screen and you have light. We're not Club Med. Anyway. So did I answer your
Yes.
Oh, no, yeah, because I don't want to answer for real, but all the small details is between me, my girlfriend, and not even. I just left because sometimes you have to leave in life. It's true. It's part of life. Leaving is not a failure.
Now they say it's a joke. Games development studio making Warhammer 40K market say that, hey, we didn't meet the release date, so we're working 90 hours per week now.
No.
Now they say, no, it was just a joke. That's not a joke. It's super sad. It's depressing.
It is. I know at Panache we didn't. As for now, I think we once we'd enter work where it was a holiday because we didn't quite finish something in 3 years because of the method. Because I'm like, okay, let's do it, and so we've been good, and we never missed a milestone in 3 years, and we do more than when we said we would do. We'll see. We didn't ship yet. One last.
Oh, hello.
I could answer more, but it's time. It's time.
Uh,
No. It's just make sure the next one's coming in. Are you good with time? Okay.
So, how often do you check Twitch? For example, is it important the real-time experience of the players? So you make games for players and you check it in this tool, how they play the game, how are their sensations? So,
I check Twitch only when I'm on my Xbox One and to see if I'm gonna buy a game or not. My daughters, they look on Twitch and YouTube a lot more than me. I'm an old monkey, man. I watch TV sometimes. I don't. But what I would say to that though, Ancestors will be great for Twitchers and YouTubers. No, it's true, and I'm like, it's not because of features done for them. It's just that the game is never the same at all. Like, the game world is, but each time you take the controller, you write the story you want, basically. So I can see that, today I'll try this and see how it works. And so, because the narrative is really thin, because I wanted you to write your own story of evolution. It's not Spore. It's not about becoming this alien thing at the end. It's only about becoming, I make sure, are we live or? No, are we stream? Do we stream? Okay, so, I don't know where's the camera, but it's not an episodic game. All right? It's a full-fledged open world game, right? And it's not about evolution of different species. It's about us on this planet, starting 10 million years ago. But you write your own story of evolution, because evolution is not set in stone. It is your path to build. And so for Twitch, it'll be amazing, because each time you'll take a pad, you can say, okay, today I'll try this. Hey, people, follow me and see what type of adventure we're having. So I said what I had to say.
Well, thank you very much for being here, for talking with us, and please.
My pleasure.
Huge round of applause for Patrice.